It's morning over here. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're gonna be, we're the International Student Support Team, and essentially we're gonna start off by providing a presentation with some information from you, and we'll end the call with a large portion of time for question and answers. So if at any point in time you have a question that comes up, you're welcome to ask it at any time. There's a Q&A option at the bottom of your webinar. If you select that, you should be able to type in a question and we'll either get to it right away or we'll enter it at the end of after our presentation and when we're in the question and answer section. But please feel free to use that at any time. The chat function is also available. If you have anything that you'd like to say to everyone, you're welcome to do that. But if possible, it would be great if we could keep to using the Q&A option to ask any questions so we can keep track of those. So I will let Vishal take it from here and start us on our PowerPoint.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. So this is the International Students webinar, and we are the International Student Support Team. So our role here is to help our international Hokies with issues or concerns they face. And this webinar is our first step to doing so, as you are new students who are coming into the fall, this coming fall. So who are we and what do we work with? Who do we work with? Well, we are the International Student Support Team, and we work predominantly with the CEED organization. So I'll start off by introducing myself and our members. Hello, everyone. I'm Vishal. I am the head of outreach, and I am a first-year general engineering student from Galileo.
Hi, I'm Samya. I'm the vice president for our team, and I'm a computer science student, and I've been in Hypatia for the past 2 years.
Hi guys, I'm Dao Dao. I'm recruitment lead. I'm general engineering major and I have been the first years in Hypatia.
And hey everyone, I'm Tawny Paradise. I am a graduate student in engineering education at Virginia Tech and was a co-founder of this, our International Student Support Team. And I also, you'll learn a little bit more about what Hypatia was later, and I was an instructor for Hypatia last year.
So we are CEED. So for those of you who are familiar with CEED, the CEED organization stands for Center for Engineering Education and Diversity, and it is a direct student support organization that comes under the Center for Enhancement of Engineering Diversity Office. And this organization has been going on for about 28 years now, with our two LLCs, Galileo and Hypatia, Galileo for 14 and Hypatia for 19. Okay, moving on to the living learning communities. So what is a living learning community? A lot of people have that question. So it is basically a student kind of support place for everything from academic to social and to even credits. So it is, for us specifically, the Galpatia LLC is a community where students all live in one building, under one building, and we are given a plethora of opportunities and resources to help us achieve our academic goals for our first year. So what these are designed to do and what their primary aim is to help students like you and me transition easier from high school to university and then finally to a career. So the opportunities are endless with our LSCs. They do everything from how, teaching us about how the university grading system works to how a job interview works. Everything from start to finish. And it is, although it's only for 1 year, you can choose to stay for another year by becoming a mentor. And the mentor program is absolutely fantastic. So focusing on the mentor system, we students, when we join in with as a group, and each group has a mentor. A mentor is usually an upperclassman, could be a sophomore, junior, senior, anything, and they help us, with our day-to-day lives.
So the retention rate and GPA from in Hypatia and Galileo is more higher than the control school. The retention from from first year to second year in College of Engineering. In Hypatia is 99%, and in Galileo is 98%. In control school is 96%, and the average GPA for in Hypatia is 3.34, and in Galileo is 3.36, and in control group is 3.13. So what is the members numbers in the community? In Galileo, which is all of is for men, and the first year students is 338, and the upper class men is 72. So for Galileo, they all living in third floor, fourth floor, and all of in the fifth floor to seventh floor. And Hypatia is all of women students. So there are 280 students in first year and 78 in upperclassmen. They all live in ground floor, the first floor, second floors, and third floor and fourth floor. So first year in Galipatia's, the goal of the community is help support first year students with the transition from high school to college and college to career. So when you in the Galileo, in the first year, you are required to take a 2 credits course that meets once a week, and it is taught by engineering graduate students and C staff. Also, for the first 10 weeks in the first semester, you are assigned to an upper class mentor to meet once a week. For upperclassmen sculptures, there are 9 parts. You have to take a 1 credits class that is there are 9 parts, and is academic supports, communication status, design challenge, outreach, professional development, service learning, socials, and studio training. So you can apply as an upperclassman in Galipatia's during spring. And also you can apply to be a mentor, but you don't have to, not everyone is selected to be a mentor. You have to live in Lee Hall if you apply for upperclassman. In junior and senior students, you can also join Galipatia's. You can remain in the community as a mentor and community mentor. Galipatia leadership team help mentor the upperclassmen in the communities and mentor roles. There are still studios in the second floor of Lee Hall. In Studio 1, this is design space. They have 3D printers and I think CMC tool and power tools and other cool stuff. You can make your own things, and it is totally free. In Studio 2, it is a study space, and it is like and they have like a TV and kitchens, and you can study here and meet with friends there. And it is managed by graduate students and team of upperclassmen leaders. And it is corporate and faculty's event. So here's some picture in Studio 1 and Studio 2. There are small desks, and you can do your homework there. And it is a CNC machine. They have small room in the Studio 2, and if you have like group meeting, you can go to the second floor. Also, there are design competitions supported by events in Studio 1, like rocketry team and NASA microdrill next, and there are more events for next year. So here's a video about Lee Hall.
Hey there, welcome to Lee Hall, home to Galipatia. I'm Gabby, a sophomore in computer engineering.
And I'm Elliot, a sophomore in chemical engineering. We're both mentors.
Come with us as we take a tour of Lee Hall. This is the quad right in front of Lee Hall, where we have 2 volleyball courts and a basketball court, and tennis courts on the other side.
It's a great place to relax and have fun with friends.
This is Studio One, our very own makerspace right here in Lee Hall, where you have access to all sorts of power tools, laser cutters, and 3D printers.
Here you can do homework, collaborate with groups on projects, and get training to utilize the resources in the studio. This is Studio 2, a place where kids can do homework and study.
Through our academic committee program, you can get help from upperclassmen on every engineering subject.
Hi guys, my name is Dan Nguyen and I'm a sophomore in Industrial and System Engineering, and this is my room. Rooms in Lee Hall comes with a bed, a loftable bed, as well as a desk, a chair, a dresser, and a pretty spacious closet, not to mention a sink.
The second floor lounge is a multi-purpose space that is being re-renovated in the summer of 2018 with upgraded furniture and an air conditioning system. This space will feature a TV and couches for watching movies and playing games, a kitchen for cooking your favorite foods, in addition to a pool and foosball table. There is also a small classroom space perfect for group project meetings, as well as several tables for studying and doing homework.
This is our laundry facility in the first floor of Lee Hall. It's open 24 hours and you can pay using either a Hokie Passport or change. There's also another one in the other wing of Lee Hall, so doing laundry is always easy and convenient.
We hope you enjoyed the tour and would like to see you soon.
If you want to apply for Galipedia, you can begin your applications in late January, which is and proceed up to May 1 until the communities are full. The decisions are made on rolling basis. We are reviewed a new set of applications every Monday and return decision to those applicants by the following Monday. Applications are reviewed by communities, faculties, and staff, and current upper class communities members. The only living learning community you can apply to before you accept your admissions offers. If you want more information about Galipedia, here's the link. We will send off those slides to you by email after the presentation.
So before we get into the peer mentoring, we actually have a few questions that I'd love to address. We had a question if we were still accepting people in Hypatia, and so I just wanted to give a little bit more context around the Galileo and Hypatia communities. So we are currently still accepting, as far as I understand, for both communities. Galileo fills up much quicker than Hypatia. So if you are interested in being a part of Galileo, you're a male student in engineering, then that is something that you're going to want to apply to very soon. And you can apply to this living learning community before you accept your offer to Virginia Tech. So if you still aren't sure that you're going to accept your offer to Virginia Tech, but you know you want to live in Galileo, if you do, go ahead and do that application process now. For Hypatia, fills up a little later, so it doesn't fill up quite as quick, but we still recommend that you get your application in as soon as possible. I would say traditionally, Galileo is full by May 1st, and I would say Hypatia is full in June sometime, traditionally. So that's the expectation I would have. So there was a question, can honors students be a part of Galipedia and still be honors students? Before I try to take that, Soumya, do you know a little bit more about that? Do you want to talk on that?
Sure. I think honor students can be in Galipedia because I had a friend last year who applied to be honor student after she came to Virginia Tech, and she was still in Galipedia. So I don't think those have to be like exclusive. You can be an honor student and still live in Galipedia. There is an honors college, like a building for honors students, but I know a lot of people who don't live in the honors building and live in other communities, and you can definitely join Galipedia for sure.
Awesome, thank you. So that will be something that you would need to check with your honors program. From our standpoint, we absolutely welcome honors students. That would be great to have them. But that would be according to what your requirements are for that program. And the other one, which I'm going to let you all take for sure, is Lee Hall near the College of Engineering? So like location-wise, how close is Lee Hall to the College of Engineering?
If you want to understand the structure, it's like residential side is on one side of the drill field. Drill field is like a huge field between the academic side and the residential side. So academic side has a lot of College of Engineering buildings. Like if there's not one building that you will be going to for every class, it's going to be different buildings for different classes depending on where your instructor is going to take that class. Some will be in the College of Science, some will be in College of Mathematics. So essentially, I would say it's on the residential side, and it is not very far because it's not the closest, but it's not the farthest, I would say. And it's not essentially like none of the residential halls are next to the College of Engineering or near the academic side, because they're always on the other side of the drill field, if that answers your question. But definitely you can check it on Google Maps and be more sure about the distance you have to travel, but it will be more or less the same for any residential hall.
So yes, to add on to Samya's point, the way our campus is structured is we have an academic side and then the residential side. And if you're doing College of Engineering, a lot of your classes would be in a few different buildings on the academic side. So it's roughly the same distance. However, for the engineering building, which is our Goodwin Engineering building in itself, where you'll be having your first year engineering courses, it's about a 10-minute walk at max, or you can take the bus. So yes, also check Google Maps, guys.
Awesome, thank you. And one other question that just came in, how can we check the application status for Galopecia if they've applied?
If it's through STARS, then it would say, is it pending or is it accepted or something, but it's usually mentioned on STARS, what is your application status at the moment, or you can just email the Housing and Res Life or Galopecia and then ask them about your status, but usually it's mentioned on STARS.
All right, awesome. Well, then we will move into the second part of our presentation on peer mentoring.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you more about CEED Peer Mentoring Program. Let's watch a promo video.
CEED Peer Mentoring is a program that helps first-year engineering students ease the transition from high school to college, both academically and socially. As a participant in the program, you will be paired with an upperclassman mentor and a group of other mentees. The mentors have peer leader advisors who help plan events and oversee the program. And all of this is all under CEED, the Center for the Enhancement of Engineering Diversity. As a mentee in the CEED Peer Mentoring Program, you can choose to be a part of one of 4 groups: West, Women Engineering Support Team; Best, Black Engineering Support Team; Ahora, Academic Hispanic Outreach Alliance; or Guest, General Undergraduate Engineering Support Team. Throughout the program, we will introduce you to engineering organizations on campus at the beginning of the semester, prepare you for the Engineering Expo, Virginia Tech's Engineering Career Fair, with the help of our corporate sponsors. We will help you edit your resume, perfect your elevator speech, and gain confidence to talk to recruiters. We will also introduce you to the various engineering majors at Virginia Tech to help you find the best fit. On top of that, mentors will help you with developing study habits and note-taking skills, finding resources on campus for developing professionally and maintaining physical and mental health, networking with professors and other students, exploring what the New River Valley has to offer, like hiking trails and the Blacksburg Farmers Market, but most importantly, developing friendships and finding your home at Virginia Tech.
I've been a part of the CEED Peer Mentoring Program for all 4 years of my undergraduate career, and it's been one of the most valuable experiences that I've had at Virginia Tech. We're constantly changing the program to improve it for both the mentees and the mentors, and we really just want to make sure that everyone who's a part of the CEED family is going to thrive at Virginia Tech. So if you're having any doubts about whether you should join the program, I would highly encourage you to do so. All of our mentors care so deeply about their mentees, and we really just want to make sure that you will succeed at Virginia Tech, especially during your first year. So we really hope that you join us in the fall.
This is a completely free program to help you succeed during your time at Virginia Tech. Sign up by July 30th, 2020 to become part of the CEED family. Thank you.
That video did give a program overview, but to give it more detail, let's start. We are essentially going to have you as first-year international students, engineering students, and then you're going to be paired up with undergraduate student leaders who we call peer leaders. They're going to be your peering mentors. There will be 1 graduate student and 4 mentoring teams that they discuss: Ahora, Best, West, and Guest. This is a 10-week mentoring program. So when you join in the fall, you'll have 10 weeks from the first week of classes to 10th week There'll be 1 weekly meeting for mentors and mentees, 2 free meals, and 3 large CEED-sponsored events. I will talk more about the events in the next slide. There will be an average of 8 mentees per mentor. It's a small group so that you're able to bond with people and make friendships. Essentially, the mentor is going to help you with the day-to-day academic problems you're having or any sort of confusion you are having that a mentor, a person who's already been in class for a year can understand and help you with. So it's a great way to make sure that you get your problem solved and you have someone to look upon to when you're in trouble or something. So the 3 events that they talked about is OSHO. OSHO is an event that showcases all the engineering student organizations and teams at Virginia Tech. Expo is one of the biggest engineering career fairs that we have at Tech. It's usually in the fall around August. And if you join the CEED peer mentoring, it will help you to prep for this expo. Majors Group is an event before spring semester starts so that it helps you attend or decide for classes, register for classes, and it's all about the majors that you might be able to choose. These are the mentors by major that we have so far. As you can see, they're almost from every major. These are the weekly meetings that students attend. They are usually fun. They have social events, they go for meals, and then they have it anywhere essentially where the mentor wants them to have. Some more pictures. So benefits of the program include opportunities for personal development, academic support, and advice from successful mentors. So you'll learn the in and out of this college and also be able to make friends during the first week of classes without having to do much. So you can sign up here through the website or through a CEED email sent to all accepted students. Orientation for us, I don't think we would be able to do it since the deadline is July 30th, but you can definitely email them or sign up through the website.
So we've shared a little bit with you all about CEED in general, about the Hypatia and Galileo living learning communities, and also about the peer mentoring program. So I am going to ask that we'll open the rest of the time up to questions. You can ask questions about the experiences in these type of opportunities. You can ask questions specifically of any of our panelists that we have with us today. You can also just ask general questions about Virginia Tech, anything related to that. And I do see we have one question here, but I'm actually going to ask all of our panelists to first tell us a little bit about you, so where you're from, and then also tell us your experience in CEED so far and what that's been like for you. So just sharing a little bit about you.
So as you know, my name is Samia. I was born in India. I grew up in Kuwait, and I am currently in my 2nd year. I joined Hypatia in my 1st year as a freshman and lived there as an RA for the 2nd year. So I've had a great experience with Hypatia so far because when I joined, I did not essentially know a lot of things. Being an international student is always difficult to just get used to everything and then be able to understand what they're trying to say. So I think I enjoyed a lot, and Hypatia has been great for me. The mentors have been a great resource. Any problem I face ever in the Hypatia class or maybe just any class, I would just be able to talk to my mentor and they would help me out. So I think it's a great way to form a community, find friends to do stuff with, and enjoy your time at Tech.
So first off, I'm Vishal, and so I'm originally from India. I was born in India, but I've spent predominant part of my life here in Dubai. So to start off, I in general engineering, and last year, or rather this year, I was part of the Galileo Living Learning Community. I was on the 7th floor, so 7 high. Let's go. That being said, so if I let's dive into my interests. So if anyone is up for a game of tennis or an intense conversation about physics, don't worry, I got you. Moving on. So yeah, I was part of the Galileo Learning Room community, and I had a fantastic mentor, and it's been an overall great experience so far.
Hi guys, I'm Dao Dao. I'm from China, and this is the first year I study. I've been to America, so I'm very nervous when I come here first time. My I'm this is my first year in Hypatia, and I think it's really helped me a lot. My mentor is great. She helped me both academically and in life. She gave me a lot of tips about studies, like classroom. I can still remember that in first week of class, I go to the wrong classrooms because I'm not familiar with Virginia Tech, and my mentor tell me to take bus, which bus to take to the so that I can go to the classroom faster. Also, she we have 2 free meal in the first 10 weeks, and she tell me about things about breast birth and let me get used to here, which is really helpful.
So we have one question here that says, can I be a part of multiple CEED programs? And I'll go ahead and try and take a stab at this one, and you all can add on to that. So if you're part of the Galopecia Living Learning Community, so you're living in Lee Hall with other engineers, and you are also going to be part of a 10-week mentoring program already. So those are both inherent when you get accepted into the Living Learning Community. So you would not be a part of peer mentoring as well, because that you get the same 10 weeks of mentoring whether you're in the Living Learning Community or whether you're in peer mentoring. So if you go into the Living Learning Community, that would be the only program you'd be a part of. If you did not live in the Living Learning Community, but you applied to be part of peer mentoring, then you would only apply to be in one group of peer mentoring. So you would not be able to be in West and Guest. You would just be in one program. And that's essentially because you get paired with one mentor, one group of students, and then you're able to work with them for the first 10 weeks. And they go over similar content and things of that nature in those. How will you be assigning us our living halls? So how do they get assigned to their roommates, etc. within Lee?
If you decide to stay in Leo Hall and get accepted to be a member of the community, you can choose your room. It depends on the time slot that you get, the availability of rooms that they have at the time. So generally, I think it was around, correct me if I'm wrong, June or July that I got my time slot last 2 years ago. And I could choose the room I wanted to be. And then there's a thing that you could either make the roommate a random option, or you could choose your roommate and create a roommate group on Stars. If you're talking about living halls in general, then it depends on whether you applied to be an LLC or you applied to the general housing pool. So if you get applied to an LLC, you get an answer from them. Either you're accepted or maybe not accepted in Hypatia, Galileo, or the other LLCs that we have. But in the general pool, it's more random, that they can put you anywhere that building doesn't have an LLC. I hope that answers your question. But you get to choose the room and your roommate if you want to, or you could have a random roommate.
What difference does it feel at the Engineering Expo or other career fairs as an international student? So what is it like as an international student when you're at the Engineering Expo or other career fairs?
So what different does it feel to be an international student trying to get a job? Well, it feels very different because you need work authorization, and a lot of companies don't really offer that. But Engineering Expo is a great place to start, just to have some idea about how to talk to people and how you can start thinking about what kind of questions they ask in interviews or process like that. As an international student, there are some companies that say no to you because they need you to be a US citizen or a permanent resident of the country. So there are some companies that say completely no, some companies that say no, but they still hire international students. But more or less, there are still companies out there looking for people who are talented, whether or not they are international students. Definitely, they would not want you to be in US federal or other services like that that require you to have a citizenship, but it definitely feels different because a lot of people just get jobs just because of how their secrecy, their level is on the US citizenship status level. So I think it's just, you'll just get used to it. It's going to be different, but you'll always have to say that you're an international student, and then you have to take the conversation ahead from there. So it's not difficult. It's not the end of the world, but the opportunities are still a lot there.
Adding on to that, one great thing I found about the Galopecia LLC is that we have something called the Expo Preview. So what that is basically we as Galopecia students have an opportunity to meet with the companies that come to the Engineering Expo a day or two before the expo itself. So it's sort of like a first dibs kind of thing. Um, Also like a pre-show. So that is wonderful. That is a great opportunity for you to meet potential, you know, employers and companies you want to work at. Uh, Furthermore, when it comes to as international students specifically, there are companies out there that have a requirement where you have to be a U.S. citizen, and so that is one thing to keep in mind. But that doesn't mean it's all the companies. It's a few select companies. So in our engineering expo, given the way Virginia Tech works, you have a lot of federal companies that come in. So companies like Lockheed Martin, you have the NSA even, and you have other companies as such, like the Army and the Navy. So for those, obviously, you need to be a citizen. Aside from that, for a majority of the companies, you're good to go.
Say, if we are rejected from an LLC, how will our accommodation change? Do we still choose which hall we want?
So, given my the past experience I've faced with a couple of my friends, they were in a similar boat last year. So the way it works is when you're part of an LLC, usually those LLCs are dorm specific. Like the Galopecia is for Lee Hall, and there's the leadership one is for OSHAG, something like that. That being said, if you are rejected from an LLC, you do have the opportunity to live in the other dorms as a freshman student. So you can choose which dorm you want to live, as long as there's availability in those dorms. And you can also choose which room and your roommate, as long as there's availability. So last year, one of my friends, he applied to the Galopecia, and he was not able to get into Galileo. And so what he had to do was he had to then pick another dorm, and he just picked Slusher because that was the only other one that was available at that time. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind in case you choose the LLC or you don't. So the availability of dorms and how quick you have to respond to accepting the offer for living is one thing you have to keep in mind.
When will the new session actually start amidst the COVID-19 pandemic? So that's a great question, fabulous question that we are all asking. We certainly do not have an answer. The President Tim Sands, the president of our university, has said that he will have a more concrete plan at the very beginning of June. So that is the best we have to go off right now. So I would look for more information in the beginning of June. I would also say if you are having concerns or questions about that, the best place to contact would be Cranwell International Center. And I'm not sure if they'll have any better answer or response, but they are definitely the point of contact that is keeping track of how the COVID-19 pandemic will be impacting our international students. So I wish I could answer your question better, but essentially none of us know. We wish we had a clearer idea and look back in June to kind of get a better idea. We had a question, what is the timeline for international orientation? Like, would I show up on August 17th? So let's talk to previous years and how it's been in previous years. So what is the international orientation like? Or when do they show up?
So since orientation would start on 17th, I think they usually send out the timeline for the 3-day orientation that we generally have during July or August, and it's available on the Cranwell International website. So usually, I think the first day is just for move-in. So about from 8 a.m. to around 4 p.m., We're just helping students to move into their dorms and have their Hokie passports registered and do the basic general stuff that you need to do. We will give you the timeline by July and August, and you can check the Crenmo website or reach out to them. But if orientation starts on 17, you would just show up on 17 and then do the necessary things that they ask you to do on that day. Just that's the basic Hokie passport, checking into your dorm, moving all your stuff, and everything like that.
We have an Instagram page that Vishal and Somya do a great job keeping up with the questions there. We also have our email that we have about 8 or 9 eyes on different international students from different communities that can be responding there. So if you have any questions or any other follow-up, we welcome any of that. Did anyone want to say anything else before we wrap up?
So hey guys, so this is our Instagram page. This is something we started recently. We started this year, and so what we're doing for this event specifically is that we're also going to be answering questions and answers. We're going to have a Q&A, my bad guys. We're going to have a Q&A on our Instagram page as well. So if any questions come up later on that you might think of maybe in an hour or two, you can just go on to our Instagram page, and on our story, you have an FAQ option there, and you can just ask us any questions and we'll be answering that as well. As of right now, what we've done is all the questions you've had so far, we've also answered those on our Instagram page for other viewers who might not have been able to attend our webinar, but you can go to that on our Instagram page.
All right, thanks Vishal. Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Feel free to reach out to us in any means following this. So thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.